Dear students, those of you who are taking the 10th and the 12th exam for the first time, all the best from my side. Work hard, study hard, and study without proper plan. Don't be afraid of the exams. Be confident. Understand your strong and weak points and study very with a lot of confidence and dedication. I'm sure you will do well in the exams. Our teachers have made a beautiful PPT about the ways with tips how to fail the exams. I would request all of you to go through that and prepare your exams and face it with a lot of confidence. Thank you.
12th Economics, subject code 030, maximum marks 80, structure of question paper. Question paper contain two sections. Section A, macroeconomics. Section B, Indian economic development. Typology of question with marks. Objective bar MCQ question. Each question carry 1 marks. You should write 20 questions. Total mark awarded 20. Short answer type 1. Each question carry 3 marks. You should write 4 questions. Total mark awarded 12. Short answer type 2. Each question carry 4 marks. You should write 6 questions. Total mark awarded 24. Long answer. Each question awarded 6 marks. You should write 4 questions. Total mark awarded 24. Total theory marks 80. Points to remember. Your hard work never fails. Make use of first 15 minutes for setting up of your mind so as to attend the answers. Draw diagram to support your answers. Solve numeric problems in stepwise format. Do not leave any questions unanswered. Practice solving trends, database questions. Read about national income, GST and demonetization and work out all the problems. There are n number of problems in the text. Do not skip even minor topics for scoring centum. You do not need mug up trends. However, mentioning important trends in your answer can help to score extra marks. Dear students, in the entire video, the topic mentioned as concept and numerical. If it is mentioned as concept, the question may ask competency based, higher order thinking, conceptual questions, case study questions, statement based questions and direct questions. Wherein if it is mentioned as numerical, the question may ask problem solving with the latest trends, case study question may ask. Dear students, in the entire video we provide title with hints which will help you easy to make road mapping of the lesson and understand the core concept. Also, it will help you make revision in a short period of time. Now, macroeconomics, chapter 1, national income and related aggregates. Introduction to macroeconomics. Great Depression, which was caused primarily by a fall in total demand in the year 1929. Consumption goods for satisfaction, capital goods for production of other goods, intermediate goods, semi-finished goods, final goods, goods in end product. Circular flow of money in two-sector economy. Flow of goods and services in one direction, flow of factor of payment in another direction. It's called a circular flow of money into sector economy. Different phases of circular flow: production, income generation, and expenditure are different phases of circular flow of economy. This title may ask concept oriented question: leakage and injection. Leakage is income which is not returned to circular flow as an expenditure. Injection is income addition which takes place in a circular flow. Stock and flow. Stock is measuring particular point of time. Flow is measuring over a period of time. Real flow and nominal flow. Real flow is goods and services flow to different sector of the economy, whereas the nominal flow is factor of payment flow between household and firm. National product and a domestic product. Domestic product is the product produced within the boundary of a country. National product is the finished goods and services produced by a country citizen both domestically and from abroad. Force in excellence and force in excellence. Force in excellence are expected obsolescence, which is maybe will happen due to technological changes. Unforeseen obsolescence may happen due to natural calamities. Investment. Investment is, we can categorize net investment and gross investment. Also, the divisions are fixed investment and inventory investment. Fixed will not change in a short period of time. Inventory will vary in a short period of span. This topic may ask concept oriented and the difference of each others. This can be a chance to have interpretation question also. Measures of national income. The components in generally GNP at market price, GNP at factor cost, GDP at market price, GDP at factor cost, NNP at market price, NNP at factor cost. Using this component, so many problems are there in your textbook. Please work out all those problems. Then measuring of national income, we are using generally product method, income method and expenditure method. Coming to product method, it is also known as value added method or output method. The formula for product method is gross value of output at market price minus depreciation minus net indirect tax. Then income method is also known as factor payment method, distributed share method. The formula is NDP at factor cost, that is consumption of employee plus profit plus rent and royalty plus interest and mixed income. Also another formula, y is equal to w plus r plus I plus pi plus r minus p. Then expenditure method, also known as income disposable method. The formula is household consumption plus government consumption plus investment expenditure plus net export. See, this topic may be asked on numerical applications. There are n number of questions may be asked from this component. Then national income concept. See, double accounting. National income double accounting. What is happening while doing national income calculation? Maybe overestimating the value of national income. So please explain the causes of double accounting. Inclusion and exclusion of each method. While calculating national income, what are the components has to be included and what are the components has to be excluded in each method? Explain all those things. Steps involved to calculate national income of each method. While the method of calculating national income Precaution to be used in each method. This topic may be asked on concept oriented. Then domestic territory and economic territory. Domestic territory is the territory administered by a government within which a person, goods and services, capital circulated freely. Economic territory is the country is not simply politically frontier of this boundary. Asked with the differences. Domestic product and national product. Domestic product is the product which is made within the boundary, and the net national product is domestic product plus NFIA, net factor income from abroad. This may be asked concept and difference. Real GDP and nominal GDP. GDP and welfare. Welfare means the sense of well-being among the people. GDP may affect welfare. Welfare affected economic factor and non-economic factor. These two has to be explained. GDP and externalities. Externalities is the external factor which may affect, made an impact either positively or negatively. That should be explained. These two topics may ask concept oriented question. GDP deflated. Dividing nominal GDP by real GDP followed by multiplication of 100 is GDP deflated. Real GDP and nominal GDP. Real GDP is estimating using the base year price. Nominal GDP is estimating using the current year price. These two content may ask numerical application question. Next chapter, money and banking. Barter system, money and money supply. Barter system, why happened in those days? The barter system is goods exchanged for another goods. This to be happen when two person wants at a time. They wants to be raised at a time. Money and money supply. See, for this you should explain meaning of money, what money does. That should be explained. Then components of money supply. Types of money. Types of money: fiat money, fiduciary money, full bodied money, credit money. This topic may ask concept oriented. Then components of money: high powered money. Components of money: C plus DD is components of money. High powered money is C plus cash reserves in bank. Then checkable deposit and non-checkable deposits. Checkable deposit against which check can be issued. Example, demand deposit and saving deposit. Non-checkable deposit against which check cannot be issued. Example, time deposit. This can be asked concept oriented and maybe in differences. Measures of money supply. M1 is equal to currency plus demand deposit plus other deposit. M2 is equal to M1 plus post of savings. M3 is equal to M1 plus time deposit. M4 is equal to M3 plus total deposit with the post office deposits. This may ask numerical application. Numerical question may ask. Then banking. Functions of central bank. First, functions of central bank: issuing of notes, bankers to the government, supervisory role, lenders of last resort, clearing house, control of foreign exchange, and control of money supply. Then functions of commercial bank. Primary function: accepting deposit, advancing loans. Secondary function: agency function, general utility function, transferring funds, letter of credit. The other function is money supply, credit creation, collection of statistics. This may ask concept oriented. Then process of credit creation or money multiply process. Credit creation may happen the amount of initial fresh deposit and the legal reserve ratio of the deposit legally required to keep as a cash by the banks. This may also ask question numerical application. Then LRR, SLR, then CRR. LRR is the minimum ratio of deposit legally required to kept as a cash by the banks. CRR is the minimum proportion of cash reserve which is kept by the commercial bank with the central bank against its total deposits. SLR is a proportion of total deposit which a commercial bank has to kept with itself in the form of liquid assets. This may ask its importance and concept oriented question. Instrument of monetary policy. The instrument of monetary policy is qualitative control and quantitative control. These both to be explained in detail. This question may ask 6 mark question, maybe 4 mark question. So either may ask qualitative instrument or quantitative instrument. Then determination of income and employment. Components: aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Aggregate demand is equal to C plus I, the consumption and investment. Aggregate supply is equal to consumption plus saving. Its concept may be asked. Consumption function. Consumption function C is the function of Y. Saving function S is equal to function of Y. Behavior of aggregate supply. In short run, upward sloping rather than vertical. Its nature as shows quantity of all the goods and services that business is in the economy. So propensity to consume. APC, APS, MPS, MPC. APC is equal to C by Y. APS is equal to S by Y. MPC is equal to delta C by delta Y. MPS is equal to delta S by delta Y. This question may ask diagrammatically and numerical applications. So it is very useful and very important. This area should be more attention has to be given. Equilibrium, aggregate demand and aggregate supply with schedule. When aggregate demand is get equilibrium with the aggregate supply is, that is APC plus APS is equal to 1. That can be happen when what the buyers plan to buy and what the seller plan to sell has to be get equal. Aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply and aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply. Such situation will happen when aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply is inflationary gap. When the aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply is deflationary gap. Investment multiplier and equilibrium. Investment multiplier is equal to K is equal to delta Y by delta I. Relationship with the MPC. This may ask concept oriented and numerical with the diagram. Full employment, involuntary employment, underemployment. This concept has to be explained. Deriving C curve from S curve or S curve from C curve. This may happen due to APC at point B is equal to 1. That should be happen because the consumption is equal to income and saving is 0. This question may ask with a diagrammatically and concept oriented. Inflationary and deflationary gap. Inflationary gap is excess demand. Deflationary gap is deficient demand. This to be explained. Measures to control correct to excess and deficient demand. This thing should be happen decrease in government expenditure or increase in tax rate or increase in government expenditure, decrease in tax rate. This may ask numerical with the diagram. Ex ante investment and ex ante savings. That is, ex ante investment is desire in investment or plan in investment in a year. Similarly, desire saving or plan saving in a year. Ex post investment, ex post saving, actual investment in the economy in a year. Similarly, actual saving in the economy in a year. Equilibrium through S and I. S is equal to saving, I is equal to investment. That is C plus I is equal to C plus S, or S is equal to I. This you know, this should be numerical application. This numerical application with a detailed diagram you should expect. Government budget and economy. Objectives of budget and components. Usually the objective of budget is reducing inequality, reallocation of resources, economic stability, economic growth, reduction in regional disparities, generation of employment. Its components are revenue and capital. This may ask concept oriented question. Receipt and expenditure, capital and revenue should be explained in detail. Development expenditure and non-development expenditure. Development promote economic development, non-development promote non-economic activities like defense. Kinds of tax, non-tax, direct tax and indirect tax. Usually the kinds of tax is receipt from all types of tax is called taxes. Non-tax, other than tax, compulsory payment, it's non-tax. You know, these may ask concept oriented and differences and numerical oriented. Deficit, revenue deficit, fiscal deficit and primary deficit. Revenue deficit is equal to total revenue expenditure minus total revenue receipt. Fiscal deficit is equal to total receipt minus total expenditure. Primary deficit is equal to fiscal deficit minus interest payment. This may ask numerical application question. Foreign exchange rate. Fixed and flexible exchange rate. Fixed rate is only government fix. Flexible depends upon demand and supply forces. Equilibrium rate and foreign exchange rate. This may ask numerical with diagram, differences, causes of exchange rate of foreign exchange, determination of equilibrium, exchange rate and flexible. This may be asked concept. Appreciation and depreciation of domestic currency. Appreciation is increasing in value of domestic currency. Depreciation is decreasing value of domestic currency. And you should make it devaluation, revaluation, depreciation and appreciation. Its comparison and contrast. This may ask concept oriented. Balance of payment. Economic transaction in BOP. Generally, transaction will have invisible, visible, unilateral transfer, income from investment and works, and capital transfer. This may ask concept oriented. BOP and BOT. Balance of payment is included only visible. Balance of trade is include visible and invisible. Components of BOP. The capital account and current account. Current account and capital account may ask concept oriented and main differences. BOP in accounting and operational. Accounting and operational. Accounting sense total receipt is equal to total payment. Operational is equal to accommodating either surplus or deficit in BOP account. This may ask concept oriented and numerical application. This question repeatedly asking in numerical application format. Now we are going to see Indian economic development. Development experience in 1947 to 1990 and economic reforms since 1991. The subtitle is Indian economy on the eve of independence. From this we should see agriculture, industry, foreign trade, demographic transition, occupational structure and infrastructure. See, in Indian economy during the eve of independence, low level of agriculture productivity, discriminatory tariff policy, composition of export and imports showed the backwardness of Indian economy. See, similarly, you should explain each topic, its advantages and disadvantages, what is happening. This may have concept oriented. Indian economy 1950 to 1990. Its objectives and goals. Its objectives are growth, modernization, self-reliance, equity. Economic system, socialism, capitalism and mixed economy. Common goals to plan. The plans are to attain sustainability. Green revolution, attaining marketable surplus. Reformation in agriculture. Agriculture reformation is needed institutionally and technical. This may ask concept oriented and data oriented, and latest trend may ask the question. Debate over subsidies. This condition of agriculture. Due to agriculture in India is high risky because it depends upon purely monsoon. IPR 1956 focused on the role of government in boosting the industrial sector by classifying them into different categories, Schedule A, B and C. That should be explained its features and interpretation with the planning. Cottage and small scale industry. The advantages is labor intensive, regional equality, income equality, and those are importance. Interpretation with the economy should be written. Achievements and failure of planning. Success of planning is increase in national income, increase in per capita income, raise in savings and investment, institutional and technical change in agriculture, growth and diversification of industry, expansion of economy and social infrastructure, wider opportunity of employment, expansion of international trade. Failures are the high rate of inflation leading to fall in real income of people, unemployment crisis, then inadequate economic and social infrastructure, employment tend to rise, explosive, skewed distribution of income and wealth. These are all failure of planning. This may ask concept oriented data. Economic reforms since 1990. Economic reforms. Why economic reformation is needed? Because it is needed to, during that time, poor performance of industry sector, adverse balance of payment, raise in deficit, fiscal deficit, inflation, the Gulf War. Due to this reason, need of economic reform is urged. Then liberalization. Liberalization, industry sector, fiscal tax, trade investment, the financial sector, foreign exchange. Those components has been taken into account for liberalization. So this may ask on concept oriented. Privatization. Privatization is taking to our our economic reforms. Its advantages are improved performance, financial discipline, reduction in deficit, competitiveness, increase in foreign investment. Negative impact is neglect of social interests, highly priced goods, monopolistic control. Globalization is rise in employment, surge in compensation, improved standard of living, better purchasing power. Or its disadvantage is widened disparity. This may happen concept oriented and data oriented question may ask. So be thorough in data and its concept. Appraisal of LPG. After introducing LPG, Indian economy grow a good sign. Demonetization, its advantages and disadvantages. See, demonetization taken into account to curb corruption and black money, whereas the black money holder doesn't need to have as a liquidity form as a cash. So its positive impact and negative impact has to be right. This question may ask concept oriented, data oriented, and latest trend. WTO, the 1995, its advantages about the Indian industry growth, GST, GST advantages and disadvantages should write. So this may ask concept oriented and data oriented, maybe latest trend oriented. Current challenges facing in Indian economy, human capital formation, physical capital and human capital. Physical capital is tangible and can be sold in the market, whereas human capital is skill acquired by an individual through education, training, and their experience. Growth and development. Growth focus on the increase in GDP, whereas development focus on improving living standard of life. See, this subtopic may ask differences and its concept. HCF, economic development, human capital formation in economic development, invention, innovation, and the technological improvement, high productivity of physical capital, raises production, high rate of participation and equality, improve the quality of life. Growth of education sector in Indian economy. See, because of human capital formation is developed, Indian education system has been privatized and it's developed foreign investment and private investment has been developed. The health sector also privatized and so much of investment has been kept in mind. This may ask concept oriented and data oriented and latest trend also. So you should take careful while reading all those concepts elaborately and detailedly with applications. Skill development, migration, why migrations happen from rural to urban area. This may ask concept oriented differences. Rural development, rural development, importance of rural development and its challenges, land reforms, development of human resources, measure for poverty alleviations, lack of education, lack of industry, development infrastructure, all those things has to be explained in detail. Rural credit, according to the time and according to the purpose. Credit may happen according to the timely, according to the purpose also. See, institutional resources and non-institutional resources. Where is the rural credit available? Institutional credit and non-institutional credit. Role of various organization, that is institutional organization, non-institutional organization, agriculture and marketing, regulation of market, provision of infrastructure, cooperative marketing, policy instrument, problem in marketing, domination of private sector, all those things have to be addressed here. So, agriculture diversification of crop production, diversification of productivity activities, sustainable development, organic, its advantages and disadvantages. That should be asked concept oriented and data oriented and data trend also. Employment, types of workers, hired workers, self-employed workers, regular workers, participation of people in employment. Participation of people may as the ratio of is equal to total workforce divided by total population into 100. This may ask by concept and the data and the latest trend. So be clear while studying this, latest trend should be applicable. Distribution of workforce, rural and urban. See number of workforce available in rural area and urban area. Why migration is happening? All those things has to be right. Then sector wise distribution, formal sector and informal sector workforce distribution. In unemployment in rural and urban. What are the causes of unemployment? Social barriers, inadequate economic growth, increase in population, then there might be a seasonal occupation. All those things should be written. Then causes of unemployment in India, especially in India. Why? Population explosion, then ineffective economic planning, labor immobility, all those things should be written. And other characters are there. Government policies in employment generation. What are the measures that has been taken by the government? Direct measures and indirect measures. Some small scale industries, some skill industries, other employment opportunities. What are the things has been governed by the government has to be right. Growth of employment and GDP. Growth of employment and GDP. You should mention jobless growth and its GDP. Whether the GDP is increasing employment or the GDP is not increasing employment, that should be written. You should interpret informalization and casualization labors. This should be written. Nowadays, informalization and casualization labor is increased highly. Concept and data oriented. Environment and sustainable development. Functions of environment. See, supply resources, assimilate, waste sustains, life aesthetic services. That should be written. Global warming, ozone depletion, misuse of natural resources, negative opportunity cost, depletion of environment, pollution, degradation of natural resources, biodiversity loss, measures of sustainable development, non-conventional resources, encouraging use of cleaner fuels, wind power, solar power, traditional knowledge, all those things should be written. See, this has to be incorporated with the latest trend and the concept and the data wise. This question very important nowadays. Development experiences of India, comparative analysis. You should compare all those things of Pakistan, China, and India. It's three countries demographic indicators, growth indicators with the GDP, human development indicators. These indicator has to be meticulously prepared with the latest trend and data. Then what are the common failures of India while planning? Comparison of three economies in all aspects. Those countries, Pakistan, China and India, mixedism, capitalism, socialism, all those things you should interpret with the latest trend and data, should carefully apply the latest trend and latest data. Then do not leave any questions unanswered. You are preparing for the examination while you do not know the answer. You please meticulously think over that. Don't skip, do not leave any question unanswered. Do not skip even minor topics for scoring centum. All the best. Good luck. Thank you.
Dear students, I hope this video finds you in great spirits. You are prepared as you are in public examination. I wanted to take a moment to extend my heartfelt wishes to you. You have put in the hard work and dedication, and I have no doubt that you are well prepared to showcase your knowledge and skills. Keep a positive mindset, trust in your abilities, and don't forget to take care of yourself during this time. Get plenty of rest, stay hydrated, and take breaks as needed. A clear mind will save you well for exams. I believe in you and you are born to win. All the best.